Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
That's your money saying it's time for a McDonald's run. Because with new McValue at McDonald's, you get more than you expect. Like buy a 6-piece McNuggets and add a McChicken for just $1. Your money says let's go. Get more than you expect with new McValue. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value.
We need the nod from the government. We need their support now. That from organisers of the official bid for the World Athletics Championships in London in 2029. I'm John.
And I'm Michael, and in this special and slightly different sounding episode of Great British Bosses, we'll hear from Dame Denise Lewis, President of UK Athletics, which is leading the campaign to bring the world's greatest athletes back to London. And just like 2017, which was the last time it happened, organisers also want to stage the Para-Athletics World Championships in the same summer, in the same stadium. It was a beautiful, sunny and warm day. It really was London at its best last month when the marathon broke records both on the field and off it. And on the same day, Athletic Ventures, a new events business that we've profiled before on this podcast, which brings together British Athletics, the London Marathon Events and Great Run Company, confirmed alongside UK Sport and the Mayor of London that it would be bidding to host the 2029 World Athletics Championships.
Yes, it was a glorious day, but the sun didn't go to their head that day. This isn't a whim. A feasibility study has been completed, and it suggests that staging the second biggest sporting event in the world in terms of athletes and countries, just behind the Olympics, could bring in a record-breaking economic and social impact worth £400 million. And we know, of course, that growth is something that the government wants to see.
But despite that, the Department for Culture, Media and Sport has yet to guarantee the £45 million that would be needed for this bid initially. So it's not a done deal.
The previous World Athletics Championships in London in 2017, of course, at both the London Olympic Stadium in Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park, were by far the most successful in the history of the sport. A sold-out stadium for every session. So what's the likelihood of it again? Here's Michael with Dame Denise.
And what is it that you've announced today with 2029 in mind?
Well, 2029, we are hoping to bid for the World Athletics Championships. As you know, we've had a very successful 2017, which built off the back of an incredible 2012 Olympics. And it just feels like the right time to be putting our intentions out there that we would like to bid and host those championships. But we do need the nod from government. We need their support right now in order to achieve that ambition. And, you know, for me personally, I know what hosting big events means to not only this country, but to this city. You know, you only have to look around and see the absolute energy and support from the public, the runners, people that love to come to this city. And so a bid hopefully can galvanise and have a real boost of morale for the city and the country.
Let's talk athlete first, as you were an athlete, of course. What will London be like for athletes? Remembering, of course, things like morning sessions in 2012 and 2017, all sold out. As an athlete, what will the experience of London 29 be like?
Athletes love coming to London. You know, you talk to them, whether it's the Diamond League, athletics, or it is a championships. They know that we have the most knowledgeable crowds. The sessions will be full. they have confidence in the delivery of those championships because of the expertise around there. We're bringing together people that the three biggest organisations of athletics, London Marathon, Great North Run Company and UK Athletics, who all know what it's like to host. And so with that expertise behind, the athletes will just know that they're going to be taken care of, but more importantly, the crowds and the spectators will be here in force.
Let's talk politics second then. What will it mean in terms of the economy? Does it add up?
What it means for us economically, it's not just about medals, it's about the impact it will have. But for 45 million in upfront support now, it will mean tenfold, circa 400 million benefits to the country economically and socially, which is great. The maths add up. It's proven. And so for me, I think, if we can get this across the line, we know we need government support. It will be great for the nation.
We're here at the London Marathon. Today is a fantastic advert for what this country does for elite sport and major events. I'm sure that's in your thinking. What now needs to happen? The money you mentioned, and there will be other bids.
There will be other bids, and we're not saying that, there won't be other strong candidates, but we know that we have a proven history, we have track record, we have form, and that really means a lot when in this very volatile economic situation that we all find ourselves in, that we can deliver on budget. And as I said, with that support now, we can then put together a really comprehensive bid. Conversations are already going on with much more powerful people than I to see how we can make that dream a reality. And it is about impact, and it is about the nation coming together and putting on yet another great event.
Just finally then, just a word about today and what you've seen and how much you've enjoyed it.
I absolutely love this London Marathon. I've worked on the course for many years, but to be at the start line and start the elite women's and men's race was phenomenal. But this, for me, we're in the belly of where it happens, where people have crossed the lines, that look of elation and fatigue, but the support they get around the whole course, it's just overwhelming to me. Whether you're an elite runner or you're running for a charity, it all means so much to people, and this is what London can do. It brings people together through sport.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Michael speaking to Dame Denise Lewis on a record-breaking London Marathon Sunday. And although it's not been confirmed yet, the IPC World Para Athletics Championships will also be part of the event. Now, these are totally separate events, separate bid processes. But in 2017, London hosted both one after the other at the London Stadium. And that, I assume, is the hope again in 2029.
Yeah, more on that in a moment. But first, let's hear from 5 times consecutive London Marathon wheelchair winner, the Swiss wheelchair racer Marcel Hug, about whether he backs the plan to.
Well, congratulations to you. How much do you like and enjoy the streets of London?
I enjoyed it, but honestly, it was also very tough. I had no time to really enjoy it. I just heard that there was a lot of crowd, very noisy. The day was beautiful, but I was just in full focus and was pushing very hard, and so it was really tough.
And what about the fact you were out on your own for quite some time today? How does that affect you mentally?
Mentally it was quite tough because I saw Tomoki Suzuki a very long time behind me, so he was chasing me all the time. It felt like a time trial, which was really tough.
And obviously this is a number of London Marathons in a row that you've won now. Are you chasing down David Weir's record? It's 8.
Honestly, no, I don't have numbers in my mind. I just try to enjoy every single marathon. Just enjoy to come here every year and have the atmosphere, the crowd. They're really amazing. And then I see maybe, or I hope I can come back next year again, and then we'll see what happens then.
We saw you in Boston, obviously, a few days ago. How does London compare to the other big major marathons around the world that you've competed in?
The course is definitely different than like Boston was. Many turns here in London. It was quite tactically, and the crowd were really amazing. The atmosphere was so loud, and they gave us a lot of energy.
London has bid for the 2029 World Athletics Championships today, and there's talk they might go for the IPC World Championships in the same year. Do you have memories of 2017? Do you think London would be a good host city again for those two events?
Oh, definitely. I have a lot of great memories in London, the Paralympics 2012, the World Championships. I think they do always a great job, and to have a World Championships together would really mean a lot for para sport, and I really hope they get the World Championships.
Important, isn't it? Because you get the crowds, including for the para championships and the para events as well. Morning sessions, evening sessions. We've seen huge crowds out there today as well.
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's a great opportunity to show our sport to the people. For us, really, it helps. It's a great motivation to be out there with all the crowds. It's really, really amazing, and I think it's really a privilege for our sport that we have such there are so many spectators. I really enjoy it.
Well done today. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So Swiss superstar Marcel Hug, and it was quite a novel event back in 2017. It feels a long time ago now. It's nearly 10 years since that summer. And the fact that the para athletics was before the World Athletics Championships, you had Hannah Cockcroft and Sammy Kinghorn winning 5 gold medals between them in July of 2017. And then, of course, the World Athletics Championships took place in August of that summer, where Usain Bolt ended his career, effectively pulling up in the 4x100 metre relay. Adam Jamili became world champion along with the British 4x100 metre squad. Mo Farah won the 10K, but he didn't win the 5K. And I remember Jess Ennis-Hill, I think we interviewed her that day as well, where she was awarded a medal that she should have got earlier on in her career. It was quite a summer. It reminded us of 2012.
Yeah, there was also the vomiting bug. Do you remember that?
There was.
That was one of the stories. These events always bring with them their stories that not necessarily where sport is central. But yeah, it was a great summer. I think it was exactly when they set out the plan back in 2005 for the London Olympics. And the bid there in Singapore that obviously was successful, as we know. It was exactly, I think, the kind of event that we hoped and thought would come after the Olympics. We had the venue, the London Stadium. It was a great legacy event, both in terms of that Olympic legacy and Paralympic legacy. And we know that's very important to the London Legacy Development Corporation, who run Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. They describe that area of London as being one of the most, if not the most accessible area in Europe, and everything that's built on that park has to be totally accessible. So I think it was right and proper that it was a joint bid for the World Athletics Championships and the IPC Championships as well. Now, as it stands at the moment, all we know is this official bid for the World Athletics Championships. So that will have to go to the organisation World Athletics, which is currently run, as we know, by Lord Coe. I did speak to people on marathon day, did ask the question about, what is the plan in terms of doing that joint bid again or the joint hosting again. And certainly that is the aim and the ambition. But as you quite rightly say there, it's different organisations. So para athletics is run separately, if you like, to World Athletics. So there will be a different bid process. And I presume that we're going to see what happens about that down the line. Marcel Hug, obviously, as we heard there, huge supporter, would love it to come to London. I mean, he talked about the crowds on marathon day, which obviously hugely important. Terrific memories of the Paralympics in 2012, terrific memories of 2017. I think for most of the para athletes, if they could compete day in, day out in front of the crowds they get in London, whether that's at the marathon or in the stadium, I think they would take it. So yeah, Marcel Hug, I was chatting as well to Catherine de Bruyne, another Swiss wheelchair racer who won the women's race. And again, I mean, she was just saying, I'd love to come back and have the opportunities to compete in London at an IPC World Championship. So a long way to go. And I think Denise Lewis, you've been calling her Dame Denise. I called her Dame Denise and she told me to shut up. She goes, shut up. We've known each other long enough. You don't have to go down the Dame Denise route. I think she's realistic, that there's a lot to do. And as we heard there in the interview, I think she thinks of it as an athlete and then she thinks of it as a president. And she knows that there's more hurdles, if you like, in convincing the politics to align with it than there will be to convince the athletes.
And we know that the money is needed. So Glasgow 2026, we know is happening next year, the Commonwealth Games, and we know that's happening because the government isn't being the backup. It's not the backstop. We know that the money is coming from the CGF because they got it back from Australia. So that's the backstop. But what we're effectively saying, if we are going to bid for this World Athletics Championships, we need a backstop. We need that 45 million to make sure that it all goes through and happens. And admittedly, it feels like the government will probably back it, but of course they haven't said it yet, and that's the thing. So that's why you heard Denise there saying, we need it and we need it now. And I think it's really interesting what you said about the World Athletics and the Para Athletics, and that the fact they are totally separate. London 2017, the first time that a single city ever hosted it, and it's never happened again. And that shows how much of this deal has to go through. So yes, we can say that London wants to stage the World Athletics Championships in 2029, but it needs the government's backing and it needs it now. And then you've got to win the bid from the World Athletics, and then you've got to go for the Para Athletics as well. So it does feel a long way to go.
Yeah, I think, the bid process is going to be interesting because I think it's pretty well documented that India are looking at a potential Olympic bid. That could be 2036, could be 2040, and this would be one of those events that I think they would look to host to try and show the IOC that they could be trusted with the Olympic Games. So I think India will come with a good bid. I think there will be other cities and regions as well that will come with a good bid. When I talk about a good bid now, I'm talking about the World Athletics Championships, because I think there is a great deal of interest in hosting that. I think there might be other European cities as well. Germany, of course, has to have staged big events in the past. Berlin staged the World Athletics Championships. Again, there's rumours that Germany might be looking at another Olympic bid, and this is an ideal event, I think, to stage and to host, to show the organisers of the Olympic Games that you could be trusted with the big event. I don't think there'll be as many cities coming forward for the IPC World Championships. So I think that is less of a hurdle to try and convince the IPC that London should be the place to come. In fact, I find it's pretty staggering. I find it very difficult to come up with any argument against London hosting it. As I said, I think if you speak to the athletes, they would love to keep coming back to London for it. But the next two championships, the World Athletics Championships, Tokyo and Beijing. So I think we can probably discount an event in that time zone, in that part of the world. So I think we are looking potentially to be coming back either to Europe, or, as I say, maybe, India is the one that everybody is talking about. Money's tight. There's not a lot of money in government to go around at the minute. The Commonwealth Games is only happening, as you say, because the private money is being raised in Glasgow and the money's come from the CGF to do it. This one will require a government handout. And I think the clues actually were in the interview that Dame Catherine Granger gave, her exit interview, if you like, as she stepped down as chair of UK Sport, because she basically said that to government, which is like, we've had a great run of hosting major events, but where's the next decade's major events going to be? If you want to carry on the good work that we've been doing with mass participation sport, elite sport, all the focus that we've had on sport and leisure and fitness being so good for mental and physical well-being, then you need to back us with the cash. Now, UK Sport got the cash they wanted after the Olympics and Paralympics. We know that was a huge thing for them to try and get the exchequer funding to fund the athletes going into the next cycle. We've been told that. And now they're basically saying to government, well, you've sorted out the Olympians and the Paralympians and the NGBs. They are funded through now to LA. That's good. We've got that. But if we want to start hosting major events again, and it's not just a cost, because you said there it's a £45 million up front, the backstop, if you like, but it will generate money. I'm pretty certain about that. So it's not just we need 45 million quid to do it. We need 45 million quid to invest to maybe increase that nearly tenfold.
And also, what the government needs to be doing is not just promoting one sport. And at the moment, you've got the football Euros coming in 28, and you've got the Women's World Cup coming, football World Cup coming in the 2030s. So they've backed football. Hey, we're anything but footy. Let's back some other sports that need the support, and always, as you say, get huge support from the British public. Also, what's in the bag? We don't need a new mascot. We can bring Hero back from London 2017.
Right. Brilliant. Yeah, let's get Hero out the cupboard. I'm like the Roy Keane of major event mascots.
It was one of the highlights of 2017, particularly when Michael was asked if he wanted to interview him.
Yeah, I was asked, do you want an interview slot with Hero the mascot? Now, I'm quite happy to interview pretty much everyone and anyone at major events, but I did draw the line at a person in a suit.
Well, we hope that the main person in a suit, Sir Keir Starmer, will back this bid for the World Athletics Championships in London in 2029, and then hopefully we can have another superb summer of sport to look forward to once again in London. This is Great British Bosses from Anything But Footy, the Olympic and Paralympic podcast, all the time, not once every 4 years.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.